What's up, motherfucker?
Hold on, I hope y'all watching this shit.
First round, real quick.
People that are in those training rooms with him know how good
Because he just knocks dudes out real quick in the first round.
Yeah, but now we're gonna get a good. I might fuck with this guy. He just, to me, I thought he was a con artist, just based off his look.
They're edge. Holy shit! What the hell just happened?
What's up, motherfuckers? Welcome to Easy Money, a sports betting show. Friday, March 25th, 2022. Got a big show today. We'll talk about the NBA games we have this evening. Have some more March Madness Sweet 16 games tonight as we get down to the other half of the Elite Eight, which will actually start tomorrow. So we got, and tomorrow there's UFC. So we got a big weekend in sports this weekend, and we'll talk a little bit about all that today. Don't forget, we're live Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern with Easy Money, a sports betting show. That show's live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Come join us. We're giving out winners. We're also live Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern with GSR Gonzo Sports Room, or Sports Talk Show. You can find that show live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch as well. You can find both them shows in podcast form on Apple Podcasts, Anchor Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Most places you listen to podcasts, you can find us. We also have a pro wrestling podcast out, GWR Gonzo's Wrestling Room. New episodes drop every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern. You can find that on Apple Podcasts, Anchor Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Most places you listen to podcasts, you can find it at Gonzo's Wrestling Room. And you can also find the video version on our YouTube page at Gonzo's Sports Room if you'd like to watch the video version of it. While you're over there on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at Gonzo Sports Room. That's where we post all the information about all of our different shows, interview announcements, live stream announcements, all that stuff gets put on our social media. All right, before we jump into today's slate of games, this Sunday, March 27th at 3 p.m. Eastern, we will be live. We'll be live streaming Warrior Pro Wrestling WPW 7. Live from Danville, Indiana. If you're around the Indiana area, I highly recommend getting a ticket and coming to the show. We were there last month. It was a great show. And I think they have even a better card scheduled for this Sunday. Doors open at 2. Wrestling starts at 3. It's in Danville, Indiana. You can find more information on it at Warrior Pro Wrestling on Facebook, or at the Gonzo Sports Room social media as well. We will be streaming that live on our YouTube and Twitch channels at Gonzo Sports Room Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, so come join us for that. All right, let's jump right into these today's games. We'll start out in the NBA. All right, first game we have tonight is the Utah Jazz. Excuse me. At the Charlotte Hornets. The Jazz are 3.5-point favorites on the road. They are minus 172 on the money line. The Hornets are plus 144 on the money line. Over under for this game is at 228.5. Both these teams are capable of scoring a lot of points. The Jazz are the better team all around. Hornets are one of the best teams on the offensive end, but they struggle defensively. I like the Jazz to win this game tonight, and I lean toward the over. I really like the over the 228.5 because, like I said, both these teams can score, and the Hornets play basically no defense. But I like the Jazz on the money line actually at the minus 172, and I do like the over the 228.5. Next game in the NBA is the Washington Wizards at the Detroit Pistons. This game starts at 7:10 p.m. Eastern Time. The Pistons are 4.5-point favorites. They're minus 188 on the money line. The Wizards are plus 158 on the money line. Over under for this game is at 221.5. But neither one of these teams are very good teams this year. The Wizards got they have Bradley Beal and they've had injuries. They're in rebuild mode. And the Pistons they have some young players that are playing better, but they're basically in a rebuild mode as well. I lean toward the Pistons in this game because they're playing better basketball than what the Washington Wizards are. So I like the Detroit Pistons here at the minus 188 on the money line. Next game we have is the Golden State Warriors at the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks are 3-point favorites at home. They're minus 148 on the money line. The Warriors are plus 126 on the money line. And the over-under for this game is set at 221. The Warriors are 48-25 on the season. They are without Steph Curry in this game. Curry has been out with the ankle injury. I would say he'll probably be out till probably the playoffs. But they're coming off a win over the Heat. The Warriors are averaging 111 points per game. With Curry out of the lineup, Thompson has been the leading scorer with 18 points per game. And the Warriors are 6-3 their last 9 games. Atlanta is 36-37 on the season. They're led by Trae Young at 28 points per game. They average 113 points per game, but they are 2-9 ATS their last 11. Atlanta's a lot better team at home than they are on the road. They struggle on the road mightily, but they're a lot better on the road. I think this is going to be a good game. I worry about the Warriors offensively just because they don't have Curry, but the Warriors are a decent defensive team, and Poole's been playing good. And you still have Thompson. I'm going with the Warriors here at the plus 126 on the money line. I just think there's good value here. I know without Curry, but still, the Warriors are still a pretty good team. They're not. Don't get me wrong; they're not near the team they are when they have Curry, but they're still a pretty good basketball team. I would lean toward the over the 221 in this game as well, because both these teams are capable of scoring a lot of scoring points in a hurry. Next game is the Dallas Mavericks at the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are 3.5-point favorites at home. They are minus 154 on the money line. The Dallas Mavericks are plus 130 on the money line. Over-under for this game is set at 228. The Mavericks are 45-29 on the season. They have won 2 games in a row. They are 6-0-1 ATS their last 7 road games. They're led by Luka Doncic. Dallas has been playing well, but I think the Timberwolves are a team that people are sleeping on. The T-Wolves are 42-32. They're 11 games above 500 at home. They're 15-5-1 ATS their last 21 home games. Karl Anthony Towns has been balling. Minnesota's not a slouch anymore. They're still not at that top level yet, but they are. I mean, they're a playoff team, a solid playoff team. I just think I like the way the Timberwolves have been playing here lately. I'm taking the Timberwolves here on the money line. I just don't see the Mavs being able to slow down Big Cat and the Wolves. Next game is the New York Knicks at the Miami Heat. The Heat are 7.5-point favorites at home. They're minus 295 on the money line. The Knicks are plus 240 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 215.5. The Knicks are 31-42 on the season. The Knicks have been a disappointment. I mean, if you've looked at what their expectations was coming into this year after what they done last year, and then Julius Randle got off to a bad start. He has been playing better as of late, but they just have not been the team that we all expected they were going to be. The Knicks are 6-4 their last 10 games. They're 7-0 ATS their last 7 home games. The Miami Heat are 47-26 at home, or excuse me, 47-26 on the season. They are 26-10 at home. But Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero are questionable for tonight's games. I think Hero so both of them are questionable for tonight's game. Man, if you don't have them two, I really like the Knicks to cover in this game. I'm going to go with the Knicks at the plus 7.5, assuming that them two are not playing. If I find out them two are playing later in the evening, I'll probably take the Heat. But I like the Knicks at plus 7.5. All right, next game is the Philadelphia 76ers at the Los Angeles Clippers. The Sixers are 5-point favorites on the road. They are minus 220 on the money line. The Clippers are plus 184 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 217.5. The Sixers are 45-27 on the season. They are 24-11 on the road, so they've been good on the road. They are 2-5-1 ATS their last 8. Joel Embiid is playing at an MVP level. Harden's been playing pretty well since he came over there, and then Maxey has been playing at a all-star level. The Clippers are 36-36. They've battled injuries all year. Paul George is still out. They haven't had Kawhi all season. It's just been a tough year for the Clippers. They're on, and in the midst of that, they're on a 4-game losing streak. They are 4-1 ATS their last 5 home games. I like the 76ers here at the -5. The Sixers are just a lot better team than the Clippers are right now. And then we have the Houston Rockets at the Portland Trailblazers. The Rockets are 3.5-point favorites on the road. They're minus 168 on the money line. The Portland is plus 142 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 234.5. The Rockets have the worst record in the NBA. They are 18-55. They are 7-30 on the road, so they have not been very good on the road all season. They're 2-5 ATS their last 7 games. Yet they've only won 7 games on the road, but they're a favorite on the road here in this game against a Portland team. That just tells you that that Portland's not a real great team either. Portland is 27-45. They're 2-8 their last 10 games, and they are 4-9 ATS their last 13. Damian Lillard is out for the season, hurt. They traded away McCollum, so they're missing. They don't have a whole lot of depth right now. It's going to be interesting to see what the Blazers decide to do in the off season. But even with all that said, the Rockets are a tough team to get behind as well because, like I said, they don't play good on the road. They don't play good at home. They're just not a very good team at all. So this is a game I'm going to stay away from on the sidewise. But I do like the under the 234.5. All right, that is all of the NBA of today's NBA games. Now we'll move over and we'll talk tonight's Sweet 16 games in the NCAA March Madness basketball tournament. All right, we have 4 games tonight in the Sweet 16. We had the other 4 games last night. First game is at 7:09 p.m. Eastern Time. As you have St. Peter's against Purdue. Purdue is a 13-point favorite in this game. They're minus 1,100 on the money line. St. Peter's is plus 680 on the money line. Over-under for this game is at 133.5. St. Peter's they're a 15th seed. They're 21-11 on the season. They average scoring 68 points per game. They only allow giving up 62 points per game defensively. They are 5-0 straight up in ATS their last 5 games. They're led by Banks III, who averages 12 points per game. Purdue's a 3 seed. They're 29-7. They average scoring 79 points per game. Defensively, they give up 67 points per game. They're 4-1 straight up their last 5. 2-3 ATS their last 5. They're led by Ivy at 17 points per game. St. Peter's has been on a great run. I mean, they've been the Cinderella team of this year's tournament, putting out Kentucky, and then winning another game, advance to Sweet 16. But I just think Purdue's going to be too much for them. St. Peter's isn't going to have no answer for Edie or Williams down low, and then Ivy can score from anywhere. I just think Purdue's is just a lot better team. And I think this is where it's going to come to an end for St. Peter's. But with that being said, I think this is going to be could be a close game. I don't think this is going to be a real big blowout. I think 12 and a half points is too many points. So I do think Purdue wins this game. Actually, it's up to 13. I'm taking St. Peter's plus the 13 because I just think 13 points is too many points. I think this will be a closer game than that. I do have Purdue winning the game, but I think St. Peter's covers the plus 13. Next game in the Sweet 16, you have Providence against Kansas. This game starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. Kansas is a 7-point favorite. They're minus 300 on the money line. Providence is plus 342 on the money line. Providence is plus 240 on the money line. Over under for this game is at 141.5. Providence is a 4 seed. They are 27-5 on the season. They're coming off a win over Richmond to advance to the Sweet 16. They're real strong defensively. They're led by Watson at 14 points per game. They are 5-2 ATS their last 7 games. They are 14-3 last 17 straight up. And they allow 54 points per game defensively. So Providence is a team that definitely hangs their hat on defense, and they're one of the best defensive teams in the nation. Kansas is 30-6 on the season. They are a number 1 seed. They're coming off a win over Creighton to advance to the Sweet 16. Ajabaji is a 19 points per game, leads Kansas. Kansas is 5-1 ATS their last 6 games, 7-0 straight up their last 7. They average scoring 79 points per game. So this is going to be your classic matchup of a pretty good high-powered offense against one of the best defensive teams in the nation. This is going to be a fun game to watch. I think it's going to be a real close game. I think I could see Kansas winning, but I like Providence here to cover the +7. So I like Providence at the +7. Next game we have in the Sweet 16 is North Carolina against UCLA. UCLA is a 2.5-point favorite in this game. They are -152 on the money line. North Carolina is +126 on the money line. Over-under for this game is set at 141.5. North Carolina was an eighth seed. They're 26-9 on the season. They average scoring 78 points per game. Defensively, they allow 72 points per game. And they are led by Baycott at 17 points per game and 13 rebounds a game. UCLA is a 4 seed. They're 27-7. They average scoring 76 points per game. Defensively, they allow 64 points per game. They are 8-4 ATS their last 12. They're led by Jazang at 17 points per game. I think it's going to be a real good game. I would take UCLA in this game, but what worries me is how healthy Jazang's how much will he be able to play, and how effective will he be on that ankle. North Carolina is a good team, and they've been playing some of their better basketball here as of late. So I'm going with North Carolina on the money line. I know UCLA has that tough defense, but without if Zhang ain't able to play much or isn't effective, they're going to really struggle to score the ball. So I'm going with North Carolina here on the money line at the +126. You get good value there. And then the last game we have tonight of the Sweet 16, tip-offs at 10 p.m. Eastern time. You have Iowa State against Miami. Miami is a 3-point favorite. They are -160 on the money line. Iowa State is +132 on the money line. Over-under for this game is set at 132. Iowa State's coming off a win over the 3-seed Wisconsin to advance to the Sweet 16. They're led by Brockington at 17 points per game. They were 6-3 straight up and ATS their last 9 games. Miami's coming off a win over Auburn, who was the number 2 seed to advance to the Sweet 16. They were 5-1 ATS their last 6. They average scoring 75 points per game. They're also good defensively. They're led by McGusty at 18 points per game. They were 5-1 straight up their last 6. And defensively, they allow 64 points per game. I just don't think Iowa State's going to be able to keep up with the Miami on the offensive end, especially with Miami's stingy defense. So I like Miami here on the money line at the -160. I just think Miami's going to be a little too much for Iowa State. They're, like I said, they're tough defensively. Not only are they tough defensively, they can also score in a hurry. So I really like the Hurricanes in this game, and I would lean toward the over the 132 in this game as well. All right, before we go to my picks of the day, let's talk a little UFC. Got a UFC fight night on tomorrow. Oh, I didn't even see the comments. Didn't pull them up. Oh, got Jared Bird. What's the cover on the Mike King and Congo Kong over? I would say Mike King and Congo Kong are probably about. We'll go with -500 favorites on -500 favorites on covering tonight. What's going on, Mike? But yeah, in the UFC tomorrow night, you have Dawkins versus Blades as your main event. It should be going to be a pretty good card. I think Blades is going to beat Dawkins tomorrow. I just think Blades is going to be able to get the takedown. I think his grappling is going to be good enough to get Dawkins on the ground, and he'll be able to control him there. If Dawkins can keep this fight on the feet, I think he has a chance. But I just don't think he's going to be able to keep this fight on the feet. I see Blades being able to take Dawkins down, and can make it a long night for Dawkins trying to fight up from underneath him. In the main event on this card, you have Grasso against Joanne Wood. I think this is going to be a real good fight as well. Grasso's 13-3, and the Wood's 15-7. But I think Grasso's boxing and her takedown defense is going to be a little too much for Wood in this fight. I'm going with Grasso in this fight. Also, former Olympic wrestler Sarah McMahon is fighting on this card. She's on the prelims. She's fighting Rosa. I'd like to see McMahon win this fight, but honestly, I just see Rosa being too much for McMahon. Rosa's 27, McMahon's 41. She's getting to be a older participant in the MMA world. But it should be a good card. You can find my our full preview and predictions for tomorrow night's UFC on our Facebook and YouTube pages at Gonzo Sports Room. We released our preview and predictions video yesterday. So to find our full preview and predictions for this week's UFC, just go check out Facebook and YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room, and you can find those on there. But all right, let's get to my picks of the day for tonight. In the NBA, I like the Utah Jazz money line. I'm going to take the Golden State Warriors money line over the Atlanta Hawks, the Minnesota Timberwolves money line, the New York Knicks plus 7.5, and the Philadelphia 76ers -5. So I'm taking. So in the NBA tonight, the Jazz money line, the Warriors money line, the T-Wolves money line, New York Knicks plus 7.5, 76ers -5. Then in the college basketball Sweet 16 games for tonight, I like St. Peter's plus 13 against Purdue. I think Purdue wins the game, but St. Peter's covers. So St. Peter's plus 13. Providence plus 7. North Carolina money line and Miami money line. So my Sweet 16 picks for tonight are St. Peter's plus 13, Providence plus 7, North Carolina money line, and the University of Miami money line. All right, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I do have one announcement. GSR, Gonzo Sports Room, our sports talk show, will not be live at 7 tonight because we're actually going to watch a pro wrestling show tonight. So but we will be on tonight when we get back. So I'll probably do a GSR tonight around midnight and recap all of tonight's Sweet 16 games and all tonight's NBA games. So be looking out for tonight. Midnight, we'll be doing the GSR Friday night recap. So come join us tonight at midnight for that. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at Gonzo Sports Room. So that way you don't miss any information about any of our shows that we're getting ready to have. We have, like I said, we're going to be live streaming a pro wrestling show this Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Warrior Pro Wrestling WPW 7 live in Danville, Indiana. So come join us for that. We'll be streaming that live on YouTube and Twitch. Also, new episode of our pro wrestling podcast, DWR Gonzo Wrestling Room, will drop Sunday at 9 a.m. New episodes drop weekly, 9 a.m. You can find that on Apple Podcast, Anchor Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast. Most places you listen to podcasts, you can find it at Gonzo's Wrestling Room. And you can also find the video version on our YouTube page at Gonzo Sports Room. While you're over on our YouTube page, please hit that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. Hit the like and follow button, or like and share buttons as well. If you're watching on Facebook, please hit the like and follow buttons. We greatly appreciate that. But all right, before we get out of here, I'll give up my picks one more time just to recap. In the Sweet 16 college basketball games tonight, I have St. Peter's plus 13, Providence plus 7, North Carolina money line, and Miami money line. And in the NBA tonight, I have the Utah Jazz money line, the Golden State Warriors money line, Minnesota Timberwolves money line, New York Knicks plus 7.5, and the Philadelphia 76ers minus 5. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Don't forget, we'll be live tonight with GSR Gonzo Sports Room Friday night recap at midnight. Hope to see you guys then. If not, we will see you guys either Sunday for the pro wrestling show, or we'll see you Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern for Easy Money, a sports betting show. Thanks for joining us. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Stay safe. Peace.